Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive, this time into the brilliant mind of Earl Nightingale.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be exploring his book, Lead the Field.
Okay.
And we've got some pretty fascinating excerpts ready to share with you guys today.
Cool.
We're going to try to break down the core principles that Nightingale believed lead to a successful and fulfilling life.
You know, it's amazing how relevant his work remains.
Oh, yeah.
Even decades later.
For sure.
His insights into human potential and achievement are still resonating with people from all walks of life.
Totally. And he jumps right into this concept of the magic word.
Okay.
And he says that word is attitude.
Right.
And he argues that our attitude actually shapes our reality.
Okay.
It's almost like our environment becomes this mirror reflecting our inner state.
I see.
So if we have a positive attitude, we tend to attract positive experiences. If we have a negative attitude, we tend to attract negative experiences.
What's really fascinating here is that Nightingale emphasizes it's not just about thinking positive thoughts.
Yeah.
It's about consciously shaping our outlook. And by doing so, influencing the reality we experience.
Yeah.
We're not just passive recipients of our circumstances.
Right.
We actually have the power to shift our perspective and create the outcomes we want.
It's not about wishful thinking. It's about taking action with the right mindset.
Yeah.
He tells that story of a woman who moves to Florida, expecting everyone to welcome her with open arms.
Oh, yeah.
But because she stayed home waiting for people to reach out to her, she ends up being perceived as standoffish
Oh, wow.
and kind of misses out on those opportunities to connect with people.
Right. Yeah, that story is a great illustration of how a passive approach can actually hinder us.
For sure.
I can't just wait for good things to happen.
Yeah.
We need to actively engage with the world, project the right attitude, and create those positive experiences.
So he suggests a really interesting exercise for cultivating that positive attitude.
Okay.
He says we should treat everyone we meet as if they're the most important person on earth.
Wow. Now that could be truly transformative, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
It's going beyond just being polite.
Right.
It's about cultivating genuine respect and appreciation for every person we encounter.
Yeah.
Just imagine how much that could change not only how others see us, but also how we see ourselves.
I love that. It makes you wonder how differently we would approach our daily interactions.
Yeah.
If we genuinely saw the value in every person we met.
Sure.
Now, Nightingale also talks about this idea of opportunity, and he tells this really intriguing story called Acres of Diamonds.
Okay.
It's about an African farmer who sells his farm to go searching for diamonds, only to find out later that his farm was sitting on a diamond mine the whole time.
Oh, wow.
So he was so focused on finding riches elsewhere that he completely missed the treasure right under his nose.
That story is a powerful metaphor, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It makes you wonder, where are you searching for diamonds when they might be right under your feet?
Right?
Maybe it's time to revisit that project you put on hold, or to look for hidden potential in your current job.
It's easy to get caught up in chasing after something new and shiny when we might already have everything we need to succeed right where we are.
Exactly. And, you know, Nightingale gives a real-world example of this principle in action with the story of Stu Leonard,
Sure.
a dairy delivery man who ends up building the world's largest dairy store.
Didn't he do that by simply listening to his customers and figuring out how to better serve their needs?
Precisely. He constantly looked for ways to improve and expand his offerings based on what his customers wanted.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic example of finding those acres of diamonds in the ordinary, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's a great reminder that sometimes the biggest opportunities are right in front of us.
Yeah.
We just need to have the awareness to recognize them
Right.
and the willingness to take action.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about attitude and opportunity now.
Oh.
Nightingale dives into the importance of setting clear goals.
Mm-hmm.
He actually defines success as the progressive realization of a worthy goal.
I find that definition to be very empowering because it shifts the focus away from just the end result and onto the journey itself.
Right.
Success isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about the continuous process of striving towards something meaningful.
So it's less about the trophy and more about the race, so to speak.
Exactly.
And he tells this really heartwarming story about a Korean family who ran a grocery store.
Okay.
They closed it for a day and put up a sign that said, "We have gone to Yale University to watch our son graduate."
Oh.
Now, their story illustrates how powerful it can be to have a shared vision of success.
Yeah.
That family clearly prioritized their son's education, and they were willing to make sacrifices to support him in achieving his goals.
It makes you wonder, what sacrifices are we willing to make
Right.
for the things that truly matter?
Yeah, it's a good reminder to pause and think about our priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this next part is where things get really interesting. Nightingale suggests that we're only using a small fraction of our mental abilities.
He really does.
Yeah.
And it's a fascinating concept, isn't it?
Oh, it is?
He proposes that we should spend at least an hour each day just thinking and brainstorming,
Oh, yeah.
focusing our minds on solving problems and working towards our goals.
He even provides specific examples of people who saw amazing results
Right?
by implementing this practice.
Yeah.
Like, there was a salesman whose sales skyrocketed after adopting this habit,
Wow.
and a Sunday school teacher who nearly tripled her class size.
Those examples really highlight how impactful it can be
For sure.
to train our minds to be solution-oriented rather than dwelling on worries.
Absolutely makes you wonder, what could we achieve if we dedicated even a small amount of time each day to focused, intentional thinking?
Yeah.
What problems could we solve? What goals could we reach?
That's a great question. I think we often underestimate the power of our own minds.
Yeah.
And the incredible things we can accomplish when we harness that power effectively.
Now, this next principle really resonated with me. Nightingale talks about this concept of service, arguing that the rewards we receive in life are directly proportional to the service we provide to others.
I understand why that resonated with you.
Yeah.
It's a profound concept, isn't it? It really challenges us to shift our perspective away from a mindset of, what can I get?
Right.
To what can I give?
Exactly.
True fulfillment, he suggests, comes from contributing value to the world around us.
It's almost like a recipe for success, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The more we focus on giving and serving others, the more abundance we attract into our own lives.
Exactly. And, he contrasts this with the approach of a young couple in Monterey who were solely focused on finding a job.
Right.
He suggests a more successful approach would be to identify ways to be of service to the community.
Instead of just asking, what can this town do for me? We should be asking, what can I do for this town?
Precisely. That shift in mindset can be incredibly empowering.
For sure.
Instead of passively waiting for opportunities, we become proactive problem solvers and value providers, which ultimately attracts greater success.
Makes you wonder, what opportunities could we create if we adopted that service-oriented mindset in our own lives?
It's a fascinating question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine the possibilities if we all focused on contributing our unique talents and skills to make the world a better place.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so building on this idea of service, Nightingale then goes on to emphasize the importance of integrity and honesty in everything we do.
He argues that these qualities are absolutely essential for both personal and professional success. It's interesting in today's world where we're often bombarded with messages that encourage us to cut corners or compromise our values for the sake of getting ahead.
For sure.
Nightingale's emphasis on integrity feels incredibly refreshing.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
He's reminding us that true success is built on a foundation of solid principles and genuine contribution.
Absolutely. And it's not just about avoiding unethical behavior.
Right.
It's about aligning our actions with our values, which builds trust and attracts positive outcomes. It's about being authentic and true to ourselves and the world around us.
I think that's such a crucial point. It's not just about appearing to be honest.
Right.
It's about being honest at our core.
Yeah.
And that genuineness shines through in everything we do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now Nightingale takes a bit of a turn and encourages us to break free from conformity and forge our own paths.
He really challenges the comfort of blending in and urges us to embrace our individuality. It's like he's giving us permission to be our authentic selves and pursue our passions, even if they don't fit the standard definition of success.
He believes that those who achieve uncommon success are often the ones who dare to be different, to think outside the box and to challenge the status quo.
And that takes courage, doesn't it?
It does.
It's so much easier to just follow the crowd and do what everyone else is doing.
Right.
But true fulfillment, he suggests, comes from aligning our actions with our values and pursuing goals that resonate deeply with who we are.
It's so easy to get caught up in trying to meet other people's expectations.
Yeah.
We're trying to fit into a mold that doesn't really suit us.
Mm-hmm.
But Nightingale reminds us that true success comes from embracing our uniqueness and forging our own path.
I think that's a powerful message.
Yeah.
Especially for anyone who's ever felt like they don't quite fit in or who's been told that their dreams are too big or too unconventional.
I love that.
Okay.
Okay, so let's dive into another one of Nightingale's brilliant ideas.
Okay.
He encourages us to view ourselves as a corporation with responsibilities for finance, production, sales, and research.
I love this analogy.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so effective because it reframes personal development as a strategic investment in our future.
Yeah.
Just like a successful company invests in these areas to thrive and grow,
Right.
we need to invest in our own financial well-being, our productivity, our communication skills, and our continuous learning.
It's like we're the CEO of our own lives, responsible for making wise decisions that will lead to our overall growth and success.
Precisely. And just as a corporation needs to stay ahead of the curve by investing in research and development, we need to invest in our own personal growth to thrive in a constantly evolving world.
So it's about constantly upgrading our skills, expanding our knowledge, and refining our strategies for success.
Exactly. And Nightingale provides specific guidance on how to do this effectively.
Okay.
He stresses the importance of having a good working knowledge of history,
Okay.
especially the history of our own country and the history of human freedom.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't really thought about that before. Why do you think he emphasizes understanding history?
I think it's because he believes it gives us context and perspective.
Okay.
It helps us understand the struggles and sacrifices that have paved the way for the freedoms and opportunities we enjoy today.
Okay.
It also shows us that progress is possible even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges.
That's a really good point. It's like having a roadmap of human progress.
Right.
Showing us where we've come from and the incredible things we're capable of achieving when we work together toward a common goal.
Exactly. And, in addition to understanding history, Nightingale also stresses the importance of cultivating strong language skills.
Yeah, he talks about that a lot.
He does.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
He argues that our vocabulary and ability to communicate effectively are directly linked to our overall success.
He really emphasizes that point, doesn't he?
He does.
He even mentions a study where researchers tracked the vocabulary scores of university graduates over a 20-year period.
Yeah.
And found a direct correlation between vocabulary and income level.
That's right. The results showed that those who had scored highest on the vocabulary test were consistently in the top income group,
Wow.
while those who scored lowest remained in the bottom income group.
That's pretty compelling evidence for the practical value of language mastery.
Yeah.
It's like the more effectively we can communicate, the greater our earning potential, and the more opportunities open up to us.
So if we want to reach our full potential, we need to invest in expanding our vocabulary and refining our communication skills.
I agree. And Nightingale provides practical advice on how to do this.
Okay.
He suggests reading challenging books and articles, paying attention to the language used, and making a conscious effort to incorporate new words into our everyday conversations.
He also recommends utilizing audio programs for vocabulary building.
That's right.
It's like a fun and effortless way to expand our word power while we're driving or exercising.
Exactly. And he emphasizes the importance of not just memorizing definitions,
Right.
but really understanding how to use words correctly in context. It's about developing a nuanced understanding of language and using it as a powerful tool for expression and influence.
This is so valuable. It's like he's giving us a blueprint for upgrading our communication skills and unlocking a whole new level of personal and professional success.
I think that's a great way to put it. And remember, becoming an effective communicator is an ongoing process.
Oh, for sure.
It's about making a consistent effort to learn, grow, and refine our language skills over time.
Well, we've certainly covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have, haven't we?
From the power of attitude to the importance of service and integrity and the incredible potential of our own minds, we've explored some truly insightful concepts.
That's a great question. I think one of the most powerful things for me is a reminder that success isn't about luck or chance.
Yeah.
It's about making conscious choices, taking deliberate actions, and cultivating the right mindset.
I agree. And I love how Nightingale emphasizes that we have the power to shape our own reality.
Yeah.
To create the life we want through our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions.
It's a message of empowerment, isn't it?
It is.
It's about recognizing that we are not passive victims of our circumstances, but active creators of our own destinies.
Absolutely. So as we move forward in our deep dive, let's keep that in mind.
Okay.
Let's remember that we have the power to choose our attitude, to embrace our uniqueness, to cultivate our strengths, and to make a positive difference in the world.
I love that, and I can't wait to explore more of Nightingale's wisdom and discover even more practical strategies for unlocking our full potential.
Me too. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back soon with part 2 of our deep dive into Lead the Field, where we'll delve even deeper into Nightingale's insights on leadership action and the art of living a truly fulfilling life.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Earl Nightingale's Lead the Field. You know, one of the things that I find so compelling about Nightingale's work is his emphasis on practical strategies.
Oh, yeah.
For personal growth, he doesn't just tell us what to do, he actually provides clear, actionable steps we can take to achieve our goals.
You're so right. He really does lay out like a roadmap for success, doesn't he?
He does.
And one of the most powerful strategies he advocates for is that idea of investing in ourselves. Now, remember that analogy of treating ourselves like a corporation?
Oh, yeah.
With departments for finance, production, sales, and research?
I love that analogy.
It's so good.
It really highlights the importance of taking a strategic approach to personal development. Just as a successful corporation invests in each of these areas, we need to invest in our own financial well-being, our productivity, our communication skills, and our continuous learning. It's a holistic approach to growth.
It's like we're the CEO of our own lives, responsible for making wise decisions that will lead to growth and success for the entire company.
Exactly.
Which is ourselves.
And one of the most important investments we can make is in our financial literacy. Nightingale dedicates an entire chapter to the topic of money, emphasizing that it's a reward for the value we provide.
He encourages us to determine our worth and work towards earning it. But isn't there the danger in becoming too focused on money as the sole measure of success?
That's a great question. I think Nightingale would agree that money itself isn't the ultimate goal. It's more about recognizing that financial abundance is a natural byproduct of creating value and serving others. So it's not about chasing money for its own sake, but rather understanding that it flows naturally. When we focus on making a positive contribution.
That makes sense. So it's about aligning our financial goals with our values and our desire to make a difference. And to do that effectively, we need to develop our skills and knowledge, which brings us back to that crucial department of research. Continuous learning. Nightingale stresses that an ongoing education is vital for anyone who wants to stay ahead of the curve and achieve lasting success.
I think that's more important now than ever before, wouldn't you say?
I agree.
The world is changing so rapidly that if we're not constantly learning and adapting, we risk becoming obsolete.
He even points out that reading isn't enough. We need to be actively engaged in seeking out new information and ideas that can help us grow and improve.
He encourages us to explore a wide range of resources, from books and articles to seminars and audio programs. We should be constantly expanding our knowledge base and refining our skills.
It's like we're building a mental library, equipping ourselves with the tools and knowledge we need to navigate the complexities of life and achieve our goals. So it's not just about accumulating knowledge. It's about knowing how to apply that knowledge effectively.
Absolutely. And Nightingale doesn't just talk about the importance of knowledge. He provides specific strategies for acquiring it, for example. He stresses the importance of having a good working knowledge of history, especially the history of our own country and the history of human freedom.
That's something I hadn't really considered before. Why do you think he emphasizes the importance of understanding history? It seems a bit out of place in a book about personal development, doesn't it?
I think he includes it because he believes it gives us context, perspective, and a deeper appreciation for the freedoms and opportunities we often take for granted. It helps us understand the struggles and sacrifices that have paved the way for the world we live in today. And it reminds us that progress is possible even in the face of great adversity.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like having a roadmap of human progress. Showing us how far we've come and the incredible things we're capable of achieving when we work together. Toward a common goal.
Exactly. And in addition to understanding history, Nightingale also stresses the importance of cultivating strong language skills. He argues that our vocabulary and ability to communicate effectively are directly linked to our overall success.
We touched on this a bit earlier, but I think it's worth revisiting. Why do you think he places such a high value on language proficiency? It seems like a rather basic skill to emphasize in a book about achieving great things.
I think he recognizes that language is much more than just a way to convey information. It's a powerful tool for acquiring knowledge, building relationships, influencing others, and shaping our own reality.
He even cites a study where researchers tracked the vocabulary scores of university graduates over a 20-year period.
Right.
They found a direct correlation between vocabulary and income level.
That's a fascinating study.
Isn't it?
The results showed that those with the highest vocabulary scores consistently ended up in the top income group, while those who scored lowest remained in the bottom income group.
Wow.
It really highlights the practical value of having a strong command of language.
So it's not just about sounding intelligent. It's about equipping ourselves with the tools we need to effectively convey our ideas, connect with others, and navigate the world with greater confidence and clarity.
And you know, Nightingale provides practical advice on how we can improve our language skills.
Okay.
He suggests reading books and articles that challenge us intellectually, paying attention to the language used, and making a conscious effort to incorporate new words into our everyday conversations.
He also recommends utilizing audio programs for vocabulary building.
That's right.
Which can be a great way to learn while we're doing other activities like driving or exercising.
Exactly. And he emphasizes that it's not just about memorizing definitions.
Right.
It's about understanding how to use words correctly in context. It's about developing a nuanced understanding of language and using it as a powerful tool for expression and influence.
This is so valuable. It's like he's giving us a blueprint for upgrading our communication skills and unlocking a whole new level of personal and professional success.
And remember, becoming a truly effective communicator is an ongoing process. It's about making a consistent effort to learn, grow, and refine our language skills over time.
Okay, so we've talked about investing in ourselves, setting clear goals, acquiring knowledge, and refining our communication skills. Now, what about taking action? Nightingale reminds us that knowledge is only powerful when it's applied. It's not enough to simply read books and listen to audio programs. We need to put those ideas into practice in the real world.
He's a big advocate for taking action, even if it's imperfect action.
Right.
He believes that the key to progress is to get started, even if we don't feel completely ready or confident.
It's about overcoming that tendency to procrastinate or wait for the perfect moment and just diving in and getting things done.
Yeah, sometimes we get so caught up in planning and analyzing that we never actually take that first step.
I agree. It's like that old saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Exactly.
We have to be willing to step outside of our comfort zones and take risks if we want to achieve our goals.
And, you know, to help us translate knowledge into action, Nightingale provides this simple yet incredibly effective strategy he calls the $25,000 idea.
Oh, that's a great story. Remind us what the $25,000 idea is all about.
It's a story about an efficiency expert named Ivy Lee, who was hired by the president of a large steel company. The executive was struggling with his workload and felt overwhelmed by all the demands on his time. He knew what he needed to do.
Yeah.
He just couldn't seem to get it all done.
So Lee gave him this simple exercise to help him prioritize his tasks, right?
Exactly. Lee handed the executive a blank sheet of paper and told him to write down the 6 most important things he needed to accomplish the next day. Then he instructed him to number those tasks in order of importance.
Okay.
Starting with the most crucial.
So it's about focusing our energy on the most important tasks, first avoiding distractions, and working on one thing at a time until it's completed.
Precisely. The executive was amazed by how much more he got done using this simple system. He even sent Lee a check for $25,000, claiming it was the most valuable lesson he'd ever learned.
Wow. It's a great reminder that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. I know I'm definitely guilty of trying to do too many things at once.
Yeah.
Which can lead to overwhelm and actually decrease my productivity.
I think we all struggle with that at times.
Right.
We live in a world that constantly bombards us with information and demands our attention. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of activity and lose sight of what truly matters.
It's like we need to become masters of prioritization and learn to say no to the things that don't align with our goals.
I completely agree. And, you know, this strategy can be applied to any area of life.
For sure.
Not just work. We can use it to prioritize our personal goals, our relationships, our health, even our leisure activities.
It's about bringing that same level of intentionality and focus to everything we do, ensuring that we're making the most of our time and energy.
And Nightingale emphasizes that this is an ongoing practice.
Yeah.
It's about developing the habit of prioritizing and focusing day after day, which can lead to significant improvements in our overall effectiveness and well-being.
So it's not a one-time fix. It's a lifestyle change, really. It's about consciously choosing how we spend our time and energy and making sure those choices are aligned with our values and our goals.
I love that. It's about becoming the conscious architects of our own lives.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about investing in ourselves, setting clear goals, acquiring knowledge, taking action, and refining our communication skills. Now, let's dive into another crucial aspect of success that Nightingale emphasizes. Leadership.
He argues that leadership is not about titles or positions of authority, but about embodying certain qualities
Right.
that inspire and motivate others. And, I find his perspective on leadership to be incredibly empowering because he believes that each of us has the potential to be a leader,
Oh, yeah.
regardless of our position or role.
I agree. Leadership isn't reserved for CEOs and politicians. It's something we can practice in our families, our communities, and even in our everyday interactions.
Exactly. And I think that's a really important point because sometimes we limit ourselves by thinking that leadership requires a certain title or position, but true leadership is about influence, isn't it?
It is.
It's about inspiring others to action through our words, our actions, and our example.
So what are the qualities that define a true leader according to Nightingale?
He says leaders are those who take initiative, solve problems, inspire others, and set a positive example. Through their actions, it's about being proactive, responsible, and committed to making a positive impact.
It's about stepping up and taking ownership, being the one who's willing to go the extra mile, and inspiring others to do the same.
Exactly. And he emphasizes that leadership is not about bossing people around or demanding obedience. It's about creating a shared vision, fostering a sense of teamwork and collaboration, and empowering others to achieve their best.
It's about recognizing that true leadership is about service. It's about using our influence to make a positive difference in the lives of others and to contribute to something larger than ourselves.
And Nightingale believes that leadership skills can be developed. It's not something we're born with.
Right.
It's something we can cultivate through conscious effort and practice.
So even if we don't see ourselves as natural leaders, we can still learn and grow in this area.
Absolutely. He suggests starting by identifying areas in our lives where we can take on more responsibility, whether it's at work in our families or in our communities. It's about looking for opportunities to step up and lead, even in small ways, and gradually expanding our sphere of influence as we gain experience and confidence.
It's like anything else. The more we practice, the better we become. And he also encourages us to study the lives of great leaders throughout history.
That's right. It's about learning from those who have already achieved success in this area, identifying the principles and strategies they used, and finding ways to apply those lessons to our own lives. It's like we're standing on the shoulders of giants, using their wisdom and experience to accelerate our own growth.
So we can look to people like Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, or Mother Teresa for inspiration and guidance.
Exactly. And we don't have to limit ourselves to studying famous people or historical figures. We can learn from anyone who has achieved something we admire.
Right.
Whether it's a successful business person, a dedicated parent, or a skilled artist.
It's about recognizing that everyone has something valuable to teach us, and that we can glean insights and inspiration from a wide range of sources.
And remember, leadership is not a destination.
Right.
It's a journey. It's about continually striving to learn, grow, and improve our ability to inspire and motivate others.
It's a lifelong pursuit of becoming the best versions of ourselves so that we can lead by example and make a positive impact on the world.
Exactly. And Nightingale emphasizes that this journey of personal growth and achievement is not meant to be a solitary one.
Yeah.
We need the support of others, whether it's our families, our friends, our mentors, or our colleagues.
He talks about the importance of surrounding ourselves with positive, like-minded people who will encourage and inspire us to achieve our best.
And that's so important, isn't it?
It is.
We need people who believe in us, who challenge us to grow, and who will be there to support us when we stumble.
It's like having a team of cheerleaders encouraging us to keep going when we face setbacks, celebrating our victories and reminding us of our strengths when we doubt ourselves.
And remember, Nightingale emphasizes that building strong relationships is a two-way street.
Yeah.
It's not just about receiving support. It's about giving support, being there for others, and contributing to their growth and success as well.
It's about creating a network of mutual support and encouragement where we lift each other up and help each other reach our full potential.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected and that our success is often intertwined with the success of those around us.
Now, before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, I want to touch on one final principle that Nightingale emphasizes. The importance of living in the present moment.
He often talks about the power of now, doesn't he?
He does.
He reminds us that the present moment is all we truly have. The past is gone, the future is uncertain, but this moment right here, right now, is where life unfolds.
It's about being fully present in our interactions, engaging with our work with passion and enthusiasm, and savoring the simple joys of life. It's about appreciating the beauty that surrounds us and making the most of each and every moment.
He encourages us to shift our focus away from worries about the future or regrets about the past.
Right.
And embrace the fullness of the present moment.
I love that. It's about being mindful and appreciative of the gift of life, isn't it?
It is.
It's about cultivating a sense of gratitude for all the good things we have, both big and small.
Exactly. And, he even suggests that we should be constructively discontented.
What does he mean by that?
It's not about being negative or complaining about our circumstances. It's about having a healthy dose of dissatisfaction with the status quo, a desire to continuously improve and grow.
So it's about always striving to be better, to learn more, to achieve more, and to make a greater contribution.
Exactly. It's about having that fire in our belly, that constant desire to learn, grow, and make a positive impact on the world.
I think that's a great message to keep in mind as we continue our deep dive into Earl Nightingale's Lead the Field. So far, we've explored some powerful principles for personal growth and achievement, and there's still so much more to uncover.
Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back soon for the final part of our exploration, where we'll delve even deeper into Nightingale's wisdom and discover even more practical strategies for living a truly fulfilling life.
Welcome back to our final deep dive into the wisdom of Earl Nightingale.
Okay.
As we wrap up this exploration, one of the things that's really striking me is Nightingale's unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit. He really believed that each of us has the potential to achieve extraordinary things, no matter what our background or circumstances might be.
It's incredibly inspiring, isn't it? He constantly reminds us that we're capable of so much more than we often realize.
Yeah.
It's like he's giving us permission to dream big and chase those goals that might seem impossible.
Yeah.
At first glance.
He doesn't just leave us with a bunch of lofty ideas, though.
Right.
He provides practical guidance on how we can turn those dreams into reality. Remember that idea we talked about earlier of treating ourselves like a corporation?
Oh, yeah.
He's really advocating for a strategic approach to personal growth where we invest in our skills, knowledge, and abilities, just like a successful company would.
I love how he breaks that down into the 4 key areas of finance, production, sales, and research.
It's so good.
It's such a brilliant way to understand that success isn't about luck or chance. It's about making conscious choices and taking deliberate action to achieve our goals. It really puts us in the driver's seat, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And he emphasizes that this is not a one-time fix.
Right.
It's an ongoing process. We should be cultivating a mindset of continuous growth and improvement, always looking for ways to learn and evolve.
It's about embracing the journey, isn't it? Learning from our experiences, both the successes and the setbacks, and constantly striving to become the best possible versions of ourselves.
He even suggests we should embrace a sense of constructive discontent.
I was going to bring that up. It sounds negative at first.
It does.
But it's really about having that healthy dissatisfaction with the status quo that drives us to keep improving and keep growing.
So it's not about complaining or feeling inadequate.
Right.
It's about that internal drive that pushes us to be better, to learn more, to contribute more.
Exactly. It's like having a fire in our belly.
Yeah.
That constant desire to learn and grow and make a positive impact on the world around us. And Nightingale provides so many practical strategies for keeping that fire burning bright.
Remember that $25,000 idea we talked about?
Oh, yeah.
It's such a simple but powerful tool for increasing our productivity and effectiveness by prioritizing our tasks, focusing our energy, and avoiding distractions.
It's so easy to get caught up in trying to do too many things at once, which can lead to feeling overwhelmed and actually decrease our overall output. But that simple act of focusing on one important task at a time can make a world of difference.
It's about working smarter, not harder, right?
Absolutely. And another great way to work smarter is to learn from the experiences of others.
Yes.
Nightingale encourages us to study the lives of successful people from all walks of life.
It's like standing on the shoulders of giants, benefiting from their wisdom and experience to accelerate our own growth and success. And we don't have to limit ourselves to famous people or historical figures. We can learn from anyone who has achieved something we admire.
I love that you brought that up.
Yeah?
We're surrounded by incredible people who have valuable insights to share. It's about recognizing that everyone has something to teach us.
Right.
And that we can gather inspiration and guidance from a wide range of sources.
And it's not just about passively absorbing information. It's about actively applying what we learn, experimenting, adapting, and making those lessons our own.
It's like we're building a toolbox filled with strategies for success. We gather tools from various sources, try them out, and customize them to fit our unique needs and goals.
You know what I find so empowering about Nightingale's work is that He doesn't give us a rigid formula for success.
Mm-hmm.
He provides a framework for personal growth and achievement that we can adapt and apply to our own individual circumstances.
He empowers us to create our own success on our own terms, and he reminds us that it's not a destination but a journey. It's a lifelong adventure filled with challenges and triumphs, setbacks and breakthroughs.
It's about embracing the process, learning from our experiences, and always striving to become the best versions of ourselves. And that, to me, is the heart of Nightingale's message. It's not about achieving some external measure of success. It's about the journey of self-discovery, growth, and fulfillment.
I couldn't agree more. It's about aligning our actions with our values, making a positive contribution to the world, and embracing the adventure of life with purpose and joy.
It's been an amazing journey exploring Lead the Field with you.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious to hear what resonated most with you. What are some of the key takeaways you'll be carrying with you?
One of the most powerful things for me is that reminder that we are all capable of achieving extraordinary things. We just need to believe in ourselves, set clear goals, and take consistent action. Oh, and remember to invest in ourselves along the way.
I love that. And for me, it's that emphasis on service and contribution. The idea that true fulfillment comes from using our talents and abilities to make a positive impact on the world. It's a beautiful and inspiring message.
It really is. So to all our listeners out there, remember Nightingale's words. Our rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to our service.
Ooh, I like that.
Go out there and make a difference.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the wisdom of Earl Nightingale. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we did. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep leading the field.